Namaste everyone. Welcome to Advaita Vedanta Satsang House. We have resumed the classes starting with chapter 5. So the schedule now is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30 a.m. IST. We are on the second class and the replay of the first class is now available either on Advaita Retold YouTube channel or you can go to the house and access the replay. There are also links shared for the Spotify and the Apple podcast where you can access them as a podcast there too. The last link shared is that of a book penned by Artemisia based on Bindoji's insights into Advaita titled The Imaginary Door. It's available on Amazon and you can access a copy from there. For housekeeping, I'll close the hand raising and chat when Bindoji is conducting the class, after which he'll open up those channels. When you can have any clarifications, you can either put them in the chat or come up and ask a question. Thank you very much, Bindoji. Over to you.
Thank you, Prakash. Hari Om, and welcome to all of you. My invocations. Om Namo Brahma Dibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Madhbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Swati Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashikritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The Gita Dhyana Shlokam. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stundvandi Divyai Stavai Vedai Sangha Padakramo Panishadai Gayandiyam Samaga Dhyanavastita Tadgadena Manasa Pashyandiyam Yogino Yasyandam Navidussura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Oh. So in the last class we discussed the commentary by Shankaracharya detailing why the question by Arjuna in the beginning itself of the 5th chapter, because what led for his confusion. Now today onwards we will continue with the dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna. So Arjuna is starting with the confusion which he had in his mind. He is asking Krishna the very question. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna puna yogam cha samsasi yat shreya etayor ekam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. Sannyasam karmana Krishna punar yogam cha samsasi. O Krishna, you praise the renunciation of actions. Sannyasam karmanam. Karmanam sannyasam means renunciation of karma. Punar yogam. And again, karma yoga. Here the yoga is again to karmanam yoga. We have to take it. So you praise the karma yoga also. So both are, you are saying both are good. Yat shreyaha etayor ekam. Etayor ekam means one that is between the two. Yat shreyaha, which is better. Tad me bruhi, tell me that. Sunishchitam, with absolute certainty, because I don't want to get confused. So tell me for certain which is better, whether I should be taking the sannyasa, karma sannyasa, or whether I should follow the karma yoga. The dilemma which Arjuna is having in his mind after hearing the third and fourth chapter dialogues of Krishna. Let us look into each of the words. Sannyasam. So it's a word from sam plus ni, is that meaning is complete surrender or complete abandonment, discarding, like that. So it is indicating complete renunciation or formal relinquishment of action. Karma sannyasa. Karmana sannyasa is the word. So sannyasa here is to be understood that as a karma sannyasa, because it is two words are there as, which is adjective and the one which is being used. The adjective is karma sannyasa. The nivritti marga, that is the method through which by nivritti and pravritti we heard this in the beginning of the Gita discussions. Those who are into action and those who are into renunciation. So the complete cessation of ritual and worldly actions as a direct means to jnana. And Shankaracharya regards this as the higher means of achievement. Karmanam, the word is here means sarva karma. Not only the Vedic karmas, but even the laukika karmas which are based on our, other than the bodily maintenance. All actions other than the bodily maintenance plus the Vedic karmas are all included in this word karmana. And total relinquishment of that is sannyasa karmana. Krishna is this thing, sambodhana, addressing Krishna. Again, means to bring both these things at the same category, because Krishna has said both, sannyasa as well as, yoga. So this word puna is to indicate again, on the other hand, or you praise both of them, that sannyasa and karma both are equally. And that therefore yogam here is again karma yoga. The action without asakti and sadhana, which was discussed in detail in the fourth chapter. And it is different from jnana yoga, because in the yoga prakarana, we saw the Dravya yoga onwards, what Krishna has told. There he has listed out the entire karma yoga up to the jnana yoga. Even the jnana yoga as a sadhana is coming under the karma yoga. So please understand that karma yoga does not mean here just actions of Vedic and worldly alone, including the actions which are required for the nididya, Shravana Manana Nididhyasana comes under the karma yoga. So which is that of these two, Shamsasi means you are praising. Both you are praising in the previous chapter, saying that both are equally good. So Kanyasam Karmanam Cha Yogam Shamsasi. Both are being said as, good for the purpose of moksha. Tat yet shreyaha. Of this, which is better? Tat me bruhi. Tayor ekam means between them, I don't want both. I am confused between the both. So you tell me between the both of them, which one is the best, or what is best for me. Tat me bruhi. For me it is. And sunishchitam. Sunishchitam is the word which is ni. Nishchitam means decided. But the word sunishchita has got a importance here because thoroughly decided. It means complete, confusion rectified from that way in which it has to be said that which one is best. So the question which he had, Arjuna had a Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, he had that, then in the previous verse qualified. Therefore Arjuna is now as a qualifier for that, he is asking what is the solution for that. Sorry. So the question is from the point of view of moksha, because among the Purushartha, moksha is the one superior most, which one everyone should be working for. And even though it is, the scene is the battlefield, Krishna has been talking about other than the battle, what are required, because he is explaining things which are not related to battle. So the question can come from our mind that why is Krishna talking about all these things to Arjuna when he is there to fight the war, and he should be prompted, talked about, and the merits or demerits or the methods of fighting the war, etc. Instead of that, he is talking about karma yoga, karma sannyasa, etc. Why is this method adopted by Krishna in this approach to making Arjuna prepared for the war? This is exactly what we also should understand. People have a question normally. Why should one study Upanishad or Gita or the Prakarana Granthas, etc.? Because with all this knowledge, how is it going to be effective or successful for us in our day-to-day life? In our this life, we have now problems of family, society, the world economical, financial problems. All of them are there with us. With all of them in front of us, without finding a solution for them, if we sit for the karma yoga, karma sannyasa, etc., how is it going to be helpful? That question, which should have been the question which Arjuna should be asking, but he is asking question exactly based on what Krishna is teaching to. So here we have to understand the mind of Krishna as well as the mind of Arjuna. They are not forgotten that they are in the battlefield and they are facing the enemy and they need to fight the war. Because Krishna started the second chapter with description of the Sthita Prajna. How a person of established mind or who is fixed in his intellect without wavering, willing to take dualities of Jaya and Parajaya or win or loss, and all of them with equanimity. That was the beginning with which Krishna started the advice. So Arjuna has not forgotten that. So he knows that if he has to win the war in the battle, he should also have the stability or fixed intellect so that he doesn't get disturbed or wavered by the events and the outcomes of the war. So what Krishna is advising me is a preparatory thing which is required for to become a Sthita Prajna even in the war. Therefore, Arjuna did not ask about the war and the methodology of war. He wanted to pursue further the teaching which Krishna has done so that he can achieve that Sthita Prajna state even while he is going to engage in the war. Even though mentally he may have now decided that, after having said that between the options, in whichever option you take, you are only going to be benefited. If you are dying in the war, you will get heaven. If you are winning the war, then you have got all the property, all the success in this world. So in either way, you are not going to be a loser. It's a win-win situation for you. This all Krishna has told him in the previous chapters. So Arjuna is now not worried about the war. Mentally he is worried, but he wants to know that how will he can be better prepared for the war. That is why he is asking this question. It is not for moksha alone. It is from the point of view of being a sthita prajna. So the question is that he is not asking what is moksha, how it is moksha to be achieved, etc. But he is asking that which sadhana is superior between the karma yoga and karma sannyasa, so that I can be a sthita prajna. The answer from Krishna's point also is from that direction only. Karma sannyasa is a direct path for viveka jitnyasu, who has samadhi, sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Karma yoga is a sadhana, but not for a viveka jitnyasu, but for a karma yogi preparatory to jnana, before that jnana jitnyasa is arriving. So what it does is that it purifies the antakarana and indirectly leads to jnana. Both paths lead to the same end ultimately. One is preceding the other, that's all the difference. But both are required. So Krishna's answer also, we will find that is exactly what the methodology should be. He is not straight away taking the final result as what it should be. But his answers are also going to prepare Arjuna in the same way as how he should achieve the sthita prajna. So we should also study this in such a way that how Krishna has preparing Arjuna to become a sthita prajna is the way in which we should also be following our path of study, so that we are better equipped. We are becoming sthita prajnas to face the worldly life with all those problems which are facing us. So the Bhashya says, Sannyasam parityagam karmanam shastriyanam anushtheya visheshanam shamsasi pramshasi prashamsasi khatayasi ityetat. That is, you praise, command and teach renunciation, that is the abandonment of actions, especially the Vedic acts that are to be performed. Puna yogam cha te tesham eva anushtanam avasya kartavyam shamsasi. But at the same tone, you also again say that yoga, that is the performance of those very same actions in our day-to-day life, as something which must be necessarily done. Ataha me katarat shreyaha iti shamsheha. Therefore, I have this doubt. Which of these two is better for me? Kim karma anushtanam shreyaha kim va tadhanam iti. Which is the performance of action is better, or is it abandonment is better? Prasasya cha anushteyam, and that which is to be commendable and which has to be undertaken. Ataha cha yat shreyaha prasasya etayoho karma sannyasa karma yogayoho yat anushtanat shreya vapti mama syad iti manyase. Therefore, whichever of these two, renunciation of action or karma yoga, is better for that by practice of which you think I should attain the highest good. So for me, I don't know. I am confused. So you know me and you know what is the outcome going to be. So from your point of view, whichever is the highest or which is better between karma yoga and karma sannyasa, please tell me that. Tat ekam anyataram saha eka purushanushtheya tva asambhavad me bruhi sunishchitam abhipretam tava iti. That alone, which is between the two, since both cannot be practiced together by one person at the same time, tell me decisively as you decide or intend as a conclusion. So aviprayam achakshano nirnaya Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Now Krishna is starting the answer. Just one question from Arjuna is what makes Krishna to go into the details. So he is starting his answer to Arjuna for the very question. Between karma yoga and karma sannyasa, what is better and how should I proceed? So Krishna says, Sannyasah karma yogascha nishreyasas karau ubau tayoho tu karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate. Sannyasa karma yogascha shreyasya karau ubau. Both sannyasa, karma sannyasa and karma yoga are good. Both of them produce the highest good. Tayoho tu, but of the two, karma sannyasa, karma yoga, both of that, karma yoga, that of the two, karma sannyasat karma yoga. Karma yoga is better than karma sannyasa. Vishishyate is excelling. That means karma yoga is always better than karma sannyasa. Even though karma sannyasa is leading to jnana, karma yoga is better. So the confusion which Arjuna had is answered in one line by Krishna. That you are asking me which of the two is the better, and I am telling you karma yoga is better than karma sannyasa. Very simple and straightforward answer. But he doesn't stop at that. So the word sannyasa, which we saw in the previous verse, is repeated here. Karma yoga also a repetition from the previous verse. Nishreyas karau ubau. So the nishreyasas karau means nishreyasa. It is not just shreyas, but it is nishreyasa. So the word is not just a simple shreyas, which is again, he is giving the prefix nis into the shreyaskara to indicate that it is the most important or the better in the shreyas category. So, karma sannyasat karma yoga. Karma sannyasat means is an ablative of comparison. Compared to karma yoga, karma sannyasa, compared to karma yoga, karma sannyasa, karma yoga vishishyate. Karma yoga is the one which is vishishyate means which is superior. So here the verse seems that in the first reading to contradict Shankaracharya's established Siddhanta that jnana alone is direct means to moksha. So Krishna is saying that no, karma yoga is better than jnana. If karma yoga vishishyate, if karma yoga is superior, does that not undermine the kevala jnana nishta or the jnana nishta? Jnana taivatu kaivalyam. So there is this doubt which can come, those who are following Shankaracharya's feel, his insistence that jnana alone is the direct means to moksha. But Shankaracharya has got a very clear move in the way he is explaining this. He says, restrict the inferent of sannyasa. That is, the sannyasa being spoken of here is not the sannyasa of jnana nishta. That is the first, he is making very clear that. The jnana nishta sannyasa which Shankaracharya is saying, which is the direct means to moksha, is what is known as Paramahamsa sannyasa. A renunciation in the wake of self-knowledge. That is a relinquishment or sannyasa, which is a fallout of acquirement of the knowledge of the self, that I am the akarta atma, I am the non-doer atma. When that becomes a conviction and one abides in that, when you become akarta, all karmas are relinquished. It is not that you are stopping the activity. The karma is seen as not a activity of mind. In the last class I said that the most problem what we all face is to relinquish this mamata, that mind, to understand that we are a self as a consciousness and existence, etc., is possible for us to mentally, imaginary, or intellectually understand that. But that doesn't help us to overcome our identification to the, what you call the selfishness, not the in the negative sense, but the mamata, mind, the identity that I am the body and therefore the relativity with the body. That is the mamata which I am talking about. That is not possible to be relinquished that easily unless the knowledge about the self, that the karta or the doer aspect of the self is inherently by swabhava non-doer. Therefore, I am not imagining that I am not a non-doer. By definition and by the quality of my nature, my swabhava, I am not the doer. So when I abide in that knowledge is the jnana nishta knowledge. And the relinquishment or the non-association or nirmamata with the activities of the body, mind, intellect, and the relation with that body, mind, intellect becomes not my activity. That is the first real jnana nishta sannyasa which he is talking about. It is not, it is the, premature external sannyasa, which Krishna is talking about to be given up by someone who lacks viveka and the inner preparation, someone who has renounced the form of action and content of wisdom. Like such a sannyasa indeed is inferior to karma yoga, which is what Krishna is talking about. He is not talking about the viveka janya karma sannyasa. That is the sannyasa born out of the true nature of self. But there is a sannyasa which is there prevalent in the society, people abandoning or discarding their responsibilities, duty. Because if you remember, Krishna has said, Swadharmo nidinam shreya paradharmo vayavaha. So he has said about the requirement of Swadharma. But people who abandon their dharma and take to ochre robe, or what we called as a linga sannyasa, it is only for showing outwardly that I am a sannyasi. That type of a sannyasa is what Krishna is referring it as inferior. And karma yoga is superior as a sadhana. That is the second move Shankaracharya is taking it. But it is not the final state. Vishishyate means karma yoga is more effective preparatory instrument as a sadhana vishesha for the unqualified person, those who are not yet had the chitta shuddhi and sattva shuddhi, where they are able to identify as I myself as an akarta, avyaya, atma. So this unprepared or a person who is in the pursuit of knowledge, for them karma yoga is superior, which will purify the inner organ, which is necessary for the knowledge to become a reality. Mere renunciation of action without its purification leaves kama krodha as vasanas, etc., unburned and unresolved in the individual. Only karma yoga can remove the onset of kama, krodha, etc., and the vasanas. The vasana bijam or the seed of vasana should be burnt through karma yoga. And once the karma yoga affects the bija of vasanas are removed, it is the vasanas which is giving rise to the mamata or the feeling of mind, etc., to the body and the actions and the fruits of action. All of them can be destroyed only through karma yoga, where the vasanas get nullified. So when Krishna says Ubhau Nishrayas Karau, means both paths, when properly understood and completed, lead to the same end, Brahma Sakshatkara. And that is possible through Jnana. The Karma Yoga leads there via Antakarana Shuddhi. Jnana Nishtha Sannyasa arrives there directly for the Adhikari who has completed the Karma Yoga and achieved the Chitta Shuddhi for that purpose. Therefore, the Nishrayasa, the ultimate outcome of the Brahma Sakshatkara, that I am Brahma or I am Atma Brahma. This Atma of mine is Brahman itself. is the sannyas, karma sannyasa, which is being told about by Krishna here. So from the point of view of Shankaracharya Bhashya, there is a, Samuchayavadi, those who are saying that karma and jnana should be done simultaneously. Karma yoga as a means to jnana, not as a means to moksha directly. Moksha, which is a Brahma, Atma, Aikya, Jnana, the immediate recognition, the aparoksha anubhuti of the non-dual self is not many in nature in different people, but the Sarvatma Bhava, the same Atma which is in me, is the Atma in everything, is the Atma of everything. So that Yatra Anyat Pashyati Anyat Shrunoti Anyat Vijanati, that statement can be uttered by only a person who has really seen in his immediate recognition, aparokshanubhava, the non-dual nature of the self. No amount of karma, however refined it is, can produce this recognition. Karma cannot produce this aparokshanubhava. Because karma belongs to the realm of karya and karana. It is a cause and effect. Whereas Brahman or Atma is beyond the realm of time, space and causation. Therefore, this verse reaffirms the karma yoga is superior and premature to sannyasa, but jnana nishta sannyasa, or the fallout of knowledge, that renunciation is the crown of the entire teaching, which Krishna will be elucidating later. The Advaitic depth of Nirashreyasa is very important. He is that Nirashreyasa here Krishna is talking about is that beyond which there is no superior good. The absolute, which points toward the moksha state. Krishna subtly elevates the register in the conversation to Arjuna. Because Arjuna asked, better of the two, which is good, karma yoga or karma sannyasa? Whereas Krishna speaks about the absolute good, Nishreyasa, implying that the real answer transcends either of the question which you asked, sannyasa, karmana, which yoga, which is not that way. The ultimate good, Nishreyasa, is better than the karma yoga or karma sannyasa. That is the reason why Shankaracharya in his Bhashya, he is taking up that karma sannyasa as the linga sannyasa or the outward sannyasa. The question had a duality in it, whereas the answer is from the non-dual point of view of from Krishna's answer. So this verse, the Krishna resolution of the apparent two paths of dilemma, and Shankaracharya's commentary makes it into a demonstration that Jnana Nishta is the principle and the pinnacle of to be achieved. Karma Yoga is a upaya or a method towards achieving that. And the external sannyasa is premature in the nature and it is not really a sannyasa. And it is least effective compared to the karma yoga and the karma sannyasa. The Bhashya says, sannyasam karmanaha parityagaha karma yoga tad anushtanam cha. Renunciation is the abandonment of actions. Karma yoga is a performance of those very actions. Tau ubau abhi nevishreyaskarau moksham kurvate jnanotpatti hedutvena. Both of them indeed lead to the highest good, liberation, because they are the causes arising from knowledge. Ubhau yadyapi nishreyaskarau tadapi tayostu nishreyasastau karma sannyasat kevalat karma yoga vishishyate. Although both are conducive to the highest good, still of the two as means to liberation, karma yoga is superior to mere renunciation of action. Iti karma yogam stauti. This is how Krishna is praising the karma yoga. Then the verse number 3, Krishna continues that explanation. Tasmat iti aha. Why? How does it is better? Karma yoga is better. That is being explained that. Neyaha sa nitya sannyasi yona dveshti na kamshati. Nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. Neyaha means understand, or please note, saha nitya sannyasi. He is to be known as a perpetual renunciant. Nitya sannyasi means, nitya means eternal. Sannyasi means one who has done the renunciation. What is his quality? Yaha na dveshti na kankshati. He has neither hate nor craving. Deshti means hatred or repulsion or rejection. Na kankshati. Neither he has a desire for anything. But in the linga sannyasa or the outward sannyasa, there is this, I will not touch gold, I will not touch money, I will not look at women, I will not eat non-veg, I will not eat this thing, I will not walk that way, I will not go to a restricted place, etc. These type of thoughts are all external. That is why Krishna says, na dveshti na kankshati. A real sannyasi, one who has achieved the renunciation out of knowledge, he need not be wearing any particular dress. Whatever dress, whether he wears one or he doesn't wear one, whether he is wearing pant and shirt or whether he is wearing an ochre robe, whether he is, having special headgear or jada, etc. All these things are external. He is not talking about it. So he is saying that that Nitya Sannyasi is the one who has no such likes and dislikes. Nirdvantaha, he is beyond all dualities. Nirdvantaha. Mahabaho, hey Arjuna, Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. He is released from all bondage, bandhat pramuchyate, and therefore he is effortlessly become happy. Because when you don't have the likes and dislike, dveshti na kankshati, there nirdvanda he becomes a nirbandha without any duality. And when you don't have duality, there is no bondage for you. So the definition of renunciation is na dveshti na kankshati. That is what is the renunciation which we are talking about. The positive characterization of nirdvanda means non-dual nature. A soteriological consequence of sukham bandhat pramuchyate. That is the consequences of it. Jnayaha. if it is to be known or to be recognized, or please understand. Saha, he, Nitya Sannyasi. This word is very important word, please. It is a compound word. Nitya means eternal, constant, or ever present. Sannyasi is a renunciant. So Nitya Sannyasi is, the Nitya is a qualifier for the Sannyasi. This is the philosophical heart of this particular verse. The Linga Sannyasi is the one who has adopted external marks like ochre robe, dandi, kamandalu, but with a tonsure hair or a jada. It's all external. He may lack inner renunciation because he will have likes and dislikes. Whereas a Nitya Sannyasi, one who has renunciation, whose renunciation is intrinsic to his inner state, is not marked by any external form. Absence of likes and dislikes is the qualification or the mark of such a sannyasi. He has nothing which he likes, nothing which he hates. He has no demands nor any repulsion of demands. So Nitya Sannyasi is one who is established in the jnana of the nature of the self as kritakritya. Having done what is to be done, he has no more desire for doing something or abandoning something. He is established in the understanding that Atman is ever free, Nityamuktaha, ever full, Purna, and admits no object of aversion or craving. It is not an achievement over time, by saying that Nitya means you may think that it is an event which happens over a period of time. No. Nitya doesn't mean he is always doing sannyasa. That also you should understand. The Nitya Sannyasi is not a person who is always in the state of sannyasa. But he is in a timeless state of establishment in the nature of sannyasa. There, the word sannyasa is not the meaning of the sannyasa which we all know as renunciation. There, the word meaning sannyasa is he is well established in the nature of the self. And when he knows the nature of the self as akarta, avyaya, purna, and is not bound by anything, where he sees himself in everything. He has nothing outside himself or nothing other than himself. Such a person is the only one who can be called a Nitya Sannyasi. Yaha na dveshti na kamshati. Dvesha. Yaha means one who has no. Dvesha means, repulsions or kleshas. In the yoga terms, there are 5 kleshas, and one fundamental is vikaras of the antakarana. Both at the yogic klesha or advaitic antakarana vikara. both are coming under the dvesha. It is the reactive contraction of the consciousness towards what is being experienced as unpleasant. So dvesha is a dukkha anuyayi. In the Yoga Sutra says that klesha is a dukkha anuyayi. It is the root of avidya, the basic misunderstanding or misidentification of Atma with the body-mind sense complex, and therefore creates the fiction of bonded self capable of being threatened or harmed or, things like which will affect me. That I, which is now identified with the body-mind complex, will get affected by something. If such a feeling comes, that feeling is from a state of avidya. So when we say that Nadveshti is a person who has established himself in the self and sees the self in all, sees the self in everything, such a person, what can there be which is not him to be ours or to develop an aversion? He will not have anything to develop aversion. So there's na dveshti, na kankshati. He doesn't see anything separate from him to desire for it. Because he sees everything in himself. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati. That is, Krishna will say it later. So from that point of view of both the dvesha and kanksha, the pair of, the external sannyasa, the object of aversion is dvesha, which requires the otherness. And kanksha is the object of longing or desire, which is prompted from a lack of fulfillment, purnata. When you don't have the purnata or the completeness feeling in you, then you will need the other to fulfill that purnata. Whereas a jnani abides in the purnatva and the advaita bhavana, that there is no otherness for him. So this, when the jnani is full in himself and he has none other than himself, that is the state of nitya sannyasi, where he is nitya na dveshti na kankshati. And such a person has no nirdvanda, one who has no pair of dualities outside, external. Means he is beyond all dualities. In the Vyavahara, we are dealing with duality. Only when there is duality we can have Vyavahara. So, when he becomes nirdvanda, when he is not having the duality, how he is able to perform in the Vyavahara? The Advaitic usage of Dvandva refers to the irreducible pairs that structure the empirical experiences. Sukha in the heat and cold, but Shitoshna, pleasure and pain, Sukha Dukkha, honor, dishonor, gain or loss, etc. All of them are born out of avidya in the Vyavahara. But the one who is a nirdvandva is not the one who has suppressed the sensitivity of the pairs but who, through the natural abidance of the Atmajnana, what is his true nature, he has recognized that the Sakshi, the witness, or the Atma is beyond all dualities, is untouched by the dvandvas. So, Tebhyo Vilakshana Sakshi, when we say that, that is the feeling. He is neither the waker, neither nor the dreamer, nor the deep sleeper, or the subject experience of each one of those states. So, when that state is achieved, he is in a state of sukham, in a state of effortless ease. He is not taking any effort to become happy. He doesn't need anything external to make him happy. Nor he has anything which will make him unhappy by being present in such a situation, or wearing such a place, or eating something which is unpleasant, or talking to somebody who is unpleasant. There is nothing like that. He has no, what you call, externality with which he can feel that in what you call incompleteness and lack, because of which he should have the desire, or he should not have the hatred the other way around. So the sukham here does not mean mere happiness. It is a effortless state where there is no bondage to escape from, and all bondages which appeared earlier as real has now become appearance and mithya, because he has understood the nature of what he thought as the binding factors of the vyavahara has now become unreal and mithya for him. And those things are called bandhat. So bandhat pramuchyate. He is liberated from that bondage of apparent, binding factors of vyavahara. So the lakshana of jnani is what is the summary of this verse. This verse number 3. Very similar to the Sthita Prajna explained in the chapter 2. In the second chapter, 55th verse, Prajahadi yada kaman sarvan is what, when he explained the Sthita Prajna, he said. And in this verse, Krishna says, na kankshati. And in the 57th verse, na dveshti apannam dukkham is the Sthita Prajna's Vasha when he mentioned in the second chapter. Here also he says na dveshti in this chapter. In the Sthita Prajna, this thing, he says he is nirdvanda, and here also he uses the word nirdvanda. Sitoshna sugha dukkeshu samikritva alavala jaya jayo. So Nitya Sannyasi is thus the same figure of Sthita Prajna, which is mentioned in the chapter 2. The word sukham pramuchyate is important here. How does he achieve the sukham? is an effortless liberation. The adverb Sukham contains profound Advaitic teaching here. If moksha is required as an effort or as a consequence of an action, it would be a karya, a product of a result, and therefore subject to destruction. But Nitya Mukti, which is being referred here as Nitya Sannyasi, the eternal freedom of Brahman, which admits no production or effort, no effort. What appears as a pramochana or a liberation is the removal of superimposition, adhyasa pavada. And this removal happens naturally when he is achieving the sukha. And that is when dvasha or kamsha, dveshti or kamsha, both these things, the engines of adhyasa are have fallen away through the rising of Atma-jnana, that I am the Atma who is beyond the dvandvas. So the word pramuchyate reinforces this. It is not a liberating himself, but the action is an outcome of dissolution of adhyasa. When adhyasa dissolves, the question who liberates whom, that dissolves along with that. And what remains is the self-luminous Atma, Swaprakasha Atma, which is ever free, and that is why it is called a Nitya Sannyasi. Jneyaha Jnetavyaha sa karma yogi Nitya Sannyasi iti. That he is known to be known as a Nitya Sannyasi. Ya na dveshti kanchit na kankshati sukha dukkhe sat sadha sadhane. He is neither hates anything nor desires anything, whether pain or pleasure themselves or means of them. Evam vido yaha karmani vartamane api saha nitya sannyasi iti jnatavya ityartha. One who is of this kind, even though engaged in action, will have to be understood and purpose a perpetual renunciate or a nitya sannyasi. Nirdvandvaha dvandavarjitaha. He yasmat mahabaho sukham bandhat anayasena pramuchyate. O Arjuna, being free from the pair of opposite, he is easily, without any effort, released from bondage. So the sannyasa karma yogayoho binna purusha anushtheha viruddhau halau api viruddhau yuktaha natu ubayo nishreyas karo meva iti prapte idam uchyate. Now Krishna is now moving to the continuation of the same thing in the third verse, which we will see tomorrow, on Friday, where the comparison between the karma yoga and karma nishta, karma sannyasa being explained further. We will continue that on Friday. Stop here now. Oh.
Bindoji, you got muted just before you were closing. We can see you. Yeah, we could not. The closing. Yes, Bindoji. The closing got. I don't know what happened. We saw your mic, so it got muted, I think.
We will continue this thing. Anybody has any questions can come up.
Yes. So Bindoji,
Or you can chat. I don't know,
can you hear
Prakash.
me? Can you hear me, Bindoji?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Everyone can. Okay. Right.
Can you hear me now, Bindoji?
I opened the chat. If you have any questions, clarification, please do come up. Namaste, Venkat.
Mr. Vidji, can you hear me?
Namaste,
Can you
Venkat.
hear me, Vidji?
You have to unmute.
Yeah, there is an issue on Bindoji's side. Prakashji, can you hear
If
me?
you have updated
Yes.
your app, you may have an issue for unmuting. You may have to go and come back.
Bindoji,
Bindoji, can you hear me?
no, Bindoji cannot hear. I think there is a
Namaste,
problem.
Shraddha.
Namaste everyone. Namaste. Can you open the chat, Prakash ji? Because at least he'll come to know that he cannot hear
Yeah,
us.
actually he
Why,
doesn't know that,
Shalini, nobody is able to talk?
Look, I think, can you open the chat, Prakashji? That way we can
Bindoji, I think,
message to,
yeah,
we can,
problem is on Bindoji's side, it looks like.
Chat is open. Chat is open, Venkatji.
Hari Om.
I was also stuck for a bit, and
Please,
then I could not.
please go out and come back again. Glitch on my side. I can hear. Can you hear me now?
Hello, Bindoji, can
Yes,
you
we
hear
can
me?
hear you. We can hear you.
Bindoji, can you hear us now?
Namaste, Bindo ji. Can you hear us now?
Namaste, Bindoji. Yeah.
I can hear. Now I can hear you.
You're mute. Now you know.
Okay. That was a reset.
Yes. So, was my lecture audible, or I
Yes,
was?
yes, yes. The last bit when you were closing, that last bit,
Okay.
got cut. But otherwise, then we could not, we could not connect to each other. But we could hear you, but you could not hear us. So now it's okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Namaste, Venkat.
Namaste, Bindoji. This is glad that you are settled and your voice is very fresh. Um,
Right.
Bindoji, see,
Yes.
now I see 4 characters in the entire articulation. One was,
Mm.
Arjuna with real question, which way to go?
Mm.
He has heard Krishna. Is a karma yoga or karma sannyasa. He is very clear.
Mm.
And
Right.
now here Krishna is trying to give answer, understanding Krishna, understanding Arjuna. Then we have Bhashyakara taking the Advaitic position. From Advaita
Right.
point of view, he's asking you to aim for the highest. That is Shankara is asking for for the highest. Then
Right.
this is a listener like me, the fourth one. It is giving a compounded situation now to navigate. So
Okay.
this is the situation, Bindoji. Now it is very tricky in a way. How we digest the Gita is the key question. I see two tracks running parallel. One is there is a Vairagya path. The path of Vairagya
Right.
is what is Karma Yoga and Karma Sannyasa about. There is no Viveka amplification in this. Years back, I met a sannyasi. I think sannyasa diksha is given absolutely. They simply, practice Vairagya without any Viveka. That was surprising for me.
Yes.
So even Jain monks. So that is, look like it is heard. path defined. But here also same karma yoga, karma sannyasa is to amplify vairagya. Now on parallel we have viveka coming from Bhashyakara, insisting on viveka, and Krishna also giving viveka of yoga, viveka of both.
Yes.
So look like both need to be looked at for a seeker like me. Look at both and absorb both of them. Is that the way to now progress? I'm just asking this.
It is like this, Venkat. We are exposed to what called sannyasa by what we have seen in our life, by people, calling themselves sannyasis, but they exhibiting their raga, dvesha, etc. in their transactional life. And whether they are abiding in the self or not cannot be measured by us externally. So Krishna is giving us very clear indication, which Shankaracharya also is wanting us to understand from that point of view that, a real jnani is the one who him calls as Nitya Sannyasi. But others are all what you call adhikaris who are in the path. Ordinary person or the person who is going in proceeding with the karma yoga or yogic life, and then a person who is in the chitta shuddhi and has come, but he has not got away from his raga and dvesha. So such a person will be appearing to be a nitya sannyasi, but he cannot be established in the nitya sannyasa for that purpose. This is where we need to understand that when we look up to that, Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam, when we are asked to look into that, we should be able to see that this, whether he is beyond the dvandvas, nirdvandvaha, nityatriptaha, nirmama, all these words which Krishna uses are very important for the understanding of a nitya sannyasi. Others, it is not others are bad. We should not put them down. They have achieved a certain, level of knowledge, but has not yet landed in that place where we should be aiming to reach as the
Benderji,
path.
gone off again?
Is gone again?
I can hear you, Bindoji.
You can hear me, no?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So that is what I mean. So to understand the path and know the real difference between each of the stages is equally important for us. It is the state of Nitya Sannyasi or the Jivan Mukta is very, very rare. Manushyanam Sahasreshu. Krishna says later in this Bhagavad Gita. Among the thousands, only one that shows the method. Others are not bad. They are all in the path. So that is the way in which we should understand this particular verse. Venkat.
Got it, Benderji. I think this is now clear. Just that the teaching of Krishna is straight up and use everything else as an accessory to digest this, internalize it. That
Yes.
Nitya Sannyasi is really now, the opening is so well. It is stepping beyond the question of Arjuna. Thanks, Benderji.
Thank you, Venkat. Yes,
Namaste,
Srini.
Namaste, Binduji.
Namaste. Namaste.
Nice to hear you live after some break. So great session. Both of the sessions have been great, Binduji. And my question is, so this comparison seems to be with that so-called Linga Sannyasi, and for me, the other person I can take as a Grihastha. Okay, and the Karma Yoga part, is it trying to say that the ground is more fertile when you are in the Grihastha realm to get Chitta Shuddhi compared to a Linga Sannyasi? Or because for me, it seems that they are also doing something like we are with our friends, family, and all these attachments, whereas at least physically they seem to have renounced friends, family, and all, and created some kind of an environment for themselves to pursue further, right? So, but is this trying to say that the normal grihastha life has more fertile environment for chitta shuddhi? Is it something we can say?
No, it is not like that. Krishna is very clear saying that it is not where, how and what you do in your actions, but the internal nature in which we have our attitude towards the pair of opposites which comes from life. How do we take, whether we are a grihastha or a sannyasi in the ashrama category which we see today, or an ordinary person who is, not even interested in the spiritual line, but he is actively performing, a social order where he is not a selfish person, but a person of Samaritan nature. He is doing everything for the society. All these three categories of people are in the path of knowledge, but they have not got the inner, what you call sthita prajnatva. That is what is aiming at. So the Nitya Sannyasi with Krishna is indicating as the final thing is the same sthita prajna which he gave in that 16, 17 verses in the second chapter. But that doesn't mean the others are lesser or bad. They are all adhikaris in the path, that's all.
Okay, got it, Binduji. Because Shankara had made in the introduction a comparison, right? It felt at least to me like a comparison between when they said when you said something like karma yoga is not possible for a jnani, or whereas the others are doing karma yoga, those kind of things. So doesn't it feel like a comparison at some extent? Of course, mama vartma anvartante, when those kind of inclusive statements are there, then we can understand everybody is in the path. But isn't there a subtle hierarchy also trying to be established here?
It's not a hierarchy, Srini. The marked or the stark difference between the two is what being given here. The rest of the path or the people hierarchy, whether you call it from a non-believer to a believer to, a karma yogi to a sannyasi, grihastha to a sannyasi, that may appear to be a hierarchy from our point of view. But from Krishna's point of view, it is not like that. Krishna is some, as you said, mama vartmanu vartante manushya parsha sarvata. That is the right. But there is a stark difference between those who are in the path and the one who has established himself in the knowledge. For him, there is no dvesha or kamksha. Nothing, he doesn't hate anything, he doesn't like anything. Here he has passed all dualities, nirdvanda. He has no, separatedness, otherness in him. To say that, when Krishna himself said, na aptam anaptavyam. For him, the either to be achieved, nor to be not achieved, it's yet to be achieved. Varte evacha karmani, but yet I am engaged in all actions. So we should not forget that statement of Krishna, where he having understood and established himself in that one, how he is performing is what he is indicating toward the Nitya Sannyasi, what he is talking about.
Okay, yeah, got it. And then there is also a point where this is like a uncaused, right? Like whatever we say, praptasya prapti kind of thing. So that is also one reason that there cannot be a hierarchy, right? Directly a
Absolutely.
non-believer can. Yeah, okay, got it. Vintage.
That is why when the Bhashya Shankaracharya says it is not a product of action, of a kriya. It's like not that akrita kritena. When we heard that in the Mundaka Upanishad, that is what is being indicated. The moksha state or the Nitya Sannyasi state or the Krishna state, what is being referred, is not a product of our action or by sannyasa or yoga or any of those things. That are all preparatory for avidya nivarana, adhyasa nivarana. Only when the adhyasa is removed totally, then it is the praptasya prapti which you said. That we realize that we are that pure self all the time. Even when we were ignorant also we were that. That knowledge will come to us.
Yeah, and finally, Binduji, yes, this even though this praptasya prapti and the uncaused nature or that it's not because of an action, all this is known. Can it be said that just for a transactional reality or a general guideline, some sort of a hierarchy this can be looked at as a hierarchical nature, or even just from a, because that is what we say like sadachara or something like that, right? So in that point of view, this non-believer to believer to karma yogi to jnani, this kind of hierarchy, is it acceptable in that context of a general guideline?
In the Vyavaharik concept, yes, it is acceptable. But from the Paramarthika level, it is not there at all.
Understood. From Paramarthika, it's not there. Yeah, so when we talk about these hierarchies or guidelines, it is more from a Vyavaharika side, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Thank you, Vindaji. Got it.
Thank you, Srini. Namaste, Krita.
Pranam everyone. Pranam Binduji.
Pranam.
Pranam Prakash. I had few insights on Monday. I did join, but the lecture was over like 5 to 10 minutes, and Revati was speaking, so I got some clue about that. And then here, uh, I have to clarify two questions. First is like when you said karma yoga, okay, and then karmadi sannyasa. Okay, now in the context of karmani sannyasa, putting the karma yoga, and people use this word of nimit matra to justify that kind of a thing. But there is a what I feel is there is some sort of ambiguity over there, that someone is doing something in nimit matra, like you are just there, but there is something happening. Like I want just clarification on the word nimit bhava matra.
See, here we are not brought in the Nimitta Matram Bhava Savyasat in that aspect, which is coming much later in the Bhagavad Gita. That context is different. Here the context is the Nimitta or the cause which you are talking about is not the cause as a doer of an activity. Here Krishna wants absolute understanding about what is the goal. The path which Srini asked, in the Vyavaharika sense, from the non-believer to believer to the karma yogi to karma sannyasi, all those gradation which is there in the Vyavaharika, is a path which is in the Vyavaharika thing. But all our goal will be achieved only when we know we have become a Nitya Sannyasi. That knowledge should be kept in mind all through Vyavahara in all the path when we are undertaking our activities. And only if we become free from the dualities, Dvandva Adita, we can be a Sthita Prajna and perform Vyavaharika activities seen by others as our prarabdha karma, but from our point of view, there won't be any prarabdha karma or any activity, because the activity will become an apparent activity.
And second question is continuing from the first day when I rejoined Clubhouse, and over that time I was talking about the Nishtha in Guru and or Ishvara. Like I did listen to a YouTube lecture. So you mentioned that in this discourse you mentioned that from Paramarthic level that that kind of thing is not uh, quantifiable in a way, but in Paramarthic people used to judge on basis of that. So now, like that day, okay. So like you mentioned that in that YouTube video that the one who is having not nishtha, like Brahm, the knowledge, living in the knowledge sense, uh, he couldn't go towards that, or neither can go towards that. Okay, now okay, got the reference. You put the in between state one in between. So insights I will share. You mentioned karmadi as all the means to attain knowledge. Like it goes hand in hand with karma yoga, not karma. Karma as of karma is towards duality, and karma yoga is like being trying to
No, Kritat, what I couldn't understand, Kritat, what you are asking, because
okay.
you have to articulate it correctly.
Yes, I actually, while I was asking the second question, I got the answer while recalling the statement you mentioned while the beginning of the lecture class session. It was like in between state, Krishna should be speaking to Arjuna about the materialistic goal and about the war and stuff. Like this is the Paramarthic level, and one is the Vyavaharik Satta, and one is the Paramarthic Satta. Well, in the last lecture when I joined Clubhouse, and at that time I was confused about this having a nishtha towards Guru or toward Ishvara. So you mentioned in that YouTube channel that one who is having doubts will fluctuate between these two and will never go any of the shores of the river. So in today's lecture, I cannot frame the words you just mentioned clearly. but you said in between, like between two, between two, or one between. That's it. So one between, that explains the the thing well enough. And now that 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 ambiguity of mind which I had earlier, that explains the ambiguity of that stage. And now this this discourse uh, itself clears out why Arjuna is seeking about the getting towards the second chapter, like Sthit Pragyam way, asking the way for that. So second question got cleared out on its own. So I was just sharing my insight. That's it. After that.
Okay. Thank you, Prasad.
Okay.
Namaste, Jesse.
Namaste. Hey, I'm so
Namaste.
surprised and happy that we have you live. This is very beautiful. I hope your
Thank you, Jesse.
travels. I hope your travels have ensconced you well in the love of your family. Thank you, Bindo,
Yes,
for
yes.
being here. Yes.
I'm well settled. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you for your input.
Oh, so much affection. So here I am, in my presence, and I want to explore the transition or the leverage point between self-concern to the welfare of all. So that's what I'm up to. And I understand that when I can switch my perspective from self-concern to the welfare of all, that I am better able to cultivate a seeing, a witnessing that there are no others, and that all is the Atma, the capital self. But how do I move into that place is what one of my questions is tonight, which is, how do I move elegantly from self-concern to the welfare of all in my everyday movements? What are some of the questions that I could ask myself? Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. You asked the very crux of the entire Advaita as your question. What if I answer that, that is the answer what we are all trying to achieve. What in the Gita there is a word which is used by Krishna saying that Sarva Bhuta Hitairata. The word is Sarva means everyone, Bhuta means creation, Hita means the well-being, Rata means driven by that portion of that. So a person who has a drive for the well-being of everything in the creation, every aspect of creation, is the person who is established in this knowledge. So what we are doing is to remove the feeling of otherness which we are developing in our day-to-day activity. So wherever we get into a feeling of that my action is enforcing otherness, understand that we are moving away from that direction. That all our actions should be to be in a state where seeing ourselves in every creation, whether it's a grain of sand or whether it is the solar system, doesn't make a difference. We should be able to see that it is our nature. For that, we need to understand who we are. Then only we can do that. But as long as we see the grain of sand as grain of sand and the solar system as the solar system, we will never be able to find out the commonality between the grain and the solar system. But when we know that who we are, our true nature as pure existent consciousness, that existence consciousness is the identical and the same in the grain and the solar system. There is no two separate existence consciousness. Then only we can see that oneness in everything. That is a state of being rather than a knowledge in the intellectual or mental level. So it is a state where one goes beyond the mind and the operative level of the intellect to be in that nature all the time. Then only you will be in a state. And then there is no work you are doing at that time, because there is no otherness or the wellness of others you have to do it, because you are everyone.
And Bindu, that fits so perfectly with the karma yoga, yes? Oh,
Yes.
it fits so perfectly. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Prakash. Okay.
Binduji, one small question. Is the name of the 5th chapter called Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga? What's the name of the chapter?
Yeah, Vidyarnya has given that name, Jnana Sannyasa.
Oh, and the 4th one is Karma Sannyasa Yoga, is it? 4th chapter?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, 5th is Jnana Karma Sannyasa. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much, Binduji, and thanks everyone for participating and attending the session. And thank you to those who came up and asked the questions and deep discussion. So we will meet again at 6:30 a.m. IST Friday, and you can access the replays either on in Clubhouse replays, or you can go to the YouTube channel Advaita Retold. There are other links also shared in the chat. And as always, thank you, Binduji. Over to you to close the room.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, Srini, Venkat, Ritarth, Jesse, Shraddha, for helping me with the questions, and all of you who have been listening to me. See you all on Friday with the continuation of the 5th chapter. Hari Om. Namaste. Have a good day.
Hari Om.